I'm gonna tell you a story. Well, I love that dirty water.
Delicious, isn't it? Every time you drink the water, do you ever wonder where it comes from? Well, surprisingly, not a lot of people do.
On top of that, a lot of people don't actually think about where the water goes that they use in their day-to-day lives. For instance, after you take a shower and stuff, do you really think that it just goes back into your sink for you to be able to use? Do you think you just catch the water out of the air, or it just comes off the mountain? Or does it just come right out of the ocean? How does your water actually get clean after its journey?
Does the city of Pomona's water come from the Grand Canyon?
Is 1% of the Earth's water considered drinkable?
Is it more important to remove bacteria from the water than color?
For cities, does water need to go through a treatment plant?
Does potable water really mean safe water?
Isn't tap water at Cal Poly Pomona just as safe to drink?
We know that the Earth is made up of 70% water, but how much of that is actually considered drinkable? Actually, out of that 70% of the water that's on Earth, only 1% of that is considered drinkable. Out of that 1%, we use it to clean, to grow, and to drink. That water is put into the hydrological cycle and is then redeposited into the system to be used again. This 1% of the water is used for the entire world, and even this 1% is running out.
So even with all the water we have to make sure we set standards on what we drink. With the help of the California Water Project, we can make sure that all the water code and requirements are met. That way we're not drinking dirty duck pond water, we're drinking clean, pre-treated water.
This water is brought in from the California State Water Project. The water is then treated through a series of steps. The first step is coagulation, which takes no more than 30 seconds. The next process is flocculation, which takes no more than 30 minutes. It is then transported into the sedimentation process, which lasts between 2 to 4 hours. The flocculation and sedimentation process, as explained by the expert water treatment operator, the following is taking place.
All we're doing with the planks and the spacing is to get rid of the energy, get rid of the velocity in the water so that it can start to slow down. The whole purpose of that is to allow the flock to continue to grow and get larger and larger until you can get that specific gravity of 1, or actually larger than 1, and the flock can settle. We're not actually trying to remove any specific particle. What we're trying to do is we're trying to remove colloidal matter, where it's a smaller size particulate where it has a negative charge, so it stays in suspension. And that's where you have your polymers, your positively charged cationic polymers, and they bond with the negatively charged colloidal matter. Then you have your particulates that are small, but they stay. It takes a longer time for those to settle out. And then you have your dissolved solids. It's hydrophilic and hydrophobic metals, and it tries to remove some of those things through that process. We're not trying to remove specific items, we're trying to remove those types of things. And all these other specific items kind of fall in this umbrella of these 3 larger things.
After the water has been filtered, it needs to be disinfected. That means that any microorganisms or contaminants need to be inactivated. In order to do that, chlorine must be added to the water. There are 2 types of chlorine. There's free chlorine and combined chlorine. The free chlorine inactivates the microorganisms instantly, whereas the combined chlorine takes a longer period of time.
Spirit on the water, darkness on the face of the deep. I keep thinking about you, baby, and I can't
That looks tasty, Crystal. Thanks to all of our friends at the water treatment plant, we know that our water is safe and up to par. Now, some people might still be skeptical about the water that's coming out of their sinks. However, here at Cal Poly Pomona, we know our water is just as good as bottled water. Maybe not with all the minerals and zest, but definitely up to the quality for us to be able to drink.
So next time someone asks you where your water comes from, you can answer,
The California Water Project.
and is it safe to drink?
Yes, it's as safe as bottled water.
And where did we all learn this?
With our friends who learned water treatment with Palomo.
But I